At 11 years old, Lionel Messi heard something that could have ended his dream forever. Doctors told his family that his body wasn't producing enough growth hormone. Without expensive medical treatment, he might never grow strong enough to compete at the highest level of football. For most young players, that would have been the end of the story. But for Lionel Messi, it was only the beginning. Lionel Andres Messi was born on June 24, 1987, in Rosario, Argentina. His father worked in a steel factory and also coached a local youth football team. His mother worked part-time cleaning houses to help support the family. They weren't wealthy, but they were close-knit, and football was always part of their daily life. From the moment Messi could walk, he had a ball at his feet. By the age of 4, he was already playing for a local club called Grandoli, where his father served as a coach. Even as a tiny child among older players, Messi's talent was impossible to ignore. His balance, quick feet, and natural understanding of the game made him stand out immediately. Soon he joined Newell's Old Boys, one of the most respected youth academies in Argentina. The team he played for was nicknamed the Machine of '87 because they won almost every tournament they entered. Messi was the smallest player on the field, but somehow he was always the most dangerous. Defenders twice his size couldn't stop him. He would glide past them with quick touches and sudden changes of direction that seemed impossible for someone his age. But while Messi was dominating youth matches, something worrying was happening behind the scenes. At around 10 years old, doctors discovered that he had a condition known as growth hormone deficiency. His body wasn't producing enough hormones to grow normally. The treatment existed, but it was expensive. His family simply couldn't afford it. Each month of treatment cost hundreds of dollars, a huge amount for a working-class family in Rosario. His parents did everything they could to support him, but the future looked uncertain. Local clubs admired Messi's talent, but none of them were willing to pay for the medical treatment he needed. Then came the moment that changed everything. Messi's talent caught the attention of scouts connected to FC Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world. At just 13 years old, Messi traveled to Spain for a trial with Barcelona's youth academy. The coaches didn't need much time to decide. Within minutes of watching him play, they knew they were looking at something special. According to the famous story, Barcelona's sporting director was so impressed that he agreed to sign Messi immediately, writing the agreement on a paper napkin during a meeting with Messi's father. Barcelona also made a life-changing promise. They would pay for his medical treatment. For Messi and his family, it meant leaving Argentina and moving across the world to Barcelona, a city thousands of miles away from home. At 13 years old, Messi left behind his friends, his extended family, and the only country he had ever known. The transition wasn't easy. He was quiet, shy, and homesick. The culture was different, the language sounded different, and he was still physically much smaller than many of the players in the academy. But on the field, none of that mattered. Messi began playing for Barcelona's famous youth system, La Masia, and quickly showed why the club had taken such a risk on him. His dribbling was unlike anything coaches had seen. Instead of relying on strength or height, Messi relied on balance, speed, and an almost supernatural ability to control the ball while moving at full pace. Defenders would try to push him off the ball, but they simply couldn't catch him. Within a few years, Messi was moving rapidly through Barcelona's youth ranks. Coaches realized he wasn't just talented, he was extraordinary. At 17 years old, Messi made his debut for Barcelona's first team. It was a small moment at the time, but it marked the beginning of one of the greatest careers in football history. At first, he was simply a promising young player. But soon, something incredible began to happen. Messi started scoring goals. Lots of them. His ability to dribble past defenders in tight spaces made him almost impossible to stop. He could change direction instantly, accelerate in seconds, and finish with incredible precision. Fans began to realize they were watching something rare. Then came the comparisons. People began to say Messi reminded them of another Argentine legend, Diego Maradona. Like Maradona, Messi had a low center of gravity, incredible dribbling ability, and a fearless style of play that allowed him to take on entire defenses by himself. As the years passed, Messi continued improving. He helped Barcelona dominate European football, winning league titles and Champions League trophies. He scored record numbers of goals and collected individual awards year after year. But what truly separated Messi from other great players was his consistency. Season after season, he produced moments of brilliance that seemed impossible. Free kicks that bent perfectly into the top corner, dribbles that left 5 defenders behind, goals scored from angles that seemed unreal. By the time he reached his prime, Messi had become the face of Barcelona and one of the most famous athletes in the world. Yet one challenge remained. For years, critics argued that Messi's greatness at club level didn't fully translate to the international stage with Argentina. He came close several times. Argentina reached multiple finals, including the World Cup final in 2014 and Copa America finals in later years. Each time, victory slipped away. The pressure was enormous. At one point, Messi even announced his retirement from international football after a painful defeat. But champions rarely quit forever. Messi returned to the national team and continued chasing the one trophy that had always seemed just out of reach. Then, finally, came the moment the entire football world had been waiting for. In 2022, Lionel Messi led Argentina to victory in the FIFA World Cup. The boy who had once been told he might never grow strong enough to play football had just lifted the most important trophy in the sport. It was the perfect ending to a journey that began with doubt, sacrifice, and an impossible dream. Today, Lionel Messi is widely considered one of the greatest football players in history. But what makes his story so powerful isn't just the trophies or the records. It's the fact that everything almost ended before it even began. If Barcelona had never taken that risk, if his family had given up, if doctors had been right about his future, the world might never have witnessed one of the most magical careers football has ever seen. Lionel Messi wasn't supposed to make it. He was the boy too small to play football. And he became a legend.